on the report?
It leaves almost more questions unanswered than it did manage to answer.
Yeah.
On many aspects, it is inconclusive. We see that several aspects, people who are being named in there want to take the issue further. Some want to challenge it through their representative unions. And there are small answers given on the big elephant in the room.
Yeah.
And that is our President Jacob Zuma's friendship with the Gupta family, with the Gupta family.
Yeah.
And many people around him have also formed these friendships in government and in the ANC. And those are the big questions that are not quite answered. We know that there have been statements like the president didn't issue specific instruction, like in the plane should be allowed to land.
Yeah.
But we know political influence and political decision making doesn't necessarily wait for instructions. People know what friendships are, and people in government, the bureaucracy, they know what friendships are, they know what desires are, and they possibly know what many people have argued, that has that kind of landing, use of public resources for private persons have probably happened before.
Yeah.
So I think what people are looking for, and I think South Africans in general, forget it about just opposition parties playing electoral politics. Of course they're going to do that. But I think more broadly than that, what people generally want, and from interviews that I do, many people in the ANC really want, is more explicit, a more explicit statement as to these unanswered issues. How did it happen that South Africa was embarrassed in this way?
Well, I mean, I think that's the whole idea, is that, yes, the report, there was a sense of urgency that the report came out, it was given 7 days, it had to be released. But, you know, the excuses now put on the table is we only had 7 days, so we had to get something on the table quickly. But yet there are so many gaps, and there's so much information missing, you know, that you kind of look at this and you think, perhaps we could have given you a bit longer so that we could have had, you know, an honest, straightforward report. Perhaps this could have happened? Should we have waited a bit longer for answers?
I definitely think there was a need for a sharp, quick response.
Okay.
But it should have been put as much more tentative, preliminary, and rather than try to give the ultimate explanations as to who is responsible, as to it was names dropping that was responsible, what is the context of names dropping, the details, how did that flesh out. So we need a bigger and better investigation like that. Some parties, including smaller opposition parties in parliament, are asking for a judicial inquiry. We know that a judicial inquiry, look at the arms deal that has been dragging on for more than around 15 years now. We know
something like this could take forever. We could get nowhere.
Yes.
I mean, you get somebody like Bruce Colwani, who came out saying that he worked on the orders from the number one.
Yes.
Now, who is number one? In your eyes, who is number one?
I have no doubt in my own mind, number one is our President Jacob Zuma. That is the way it works in intelligence speak, in political speak, inside the ANC. And we know that is where the big friendship lies. Without President Zuma's friendship with the Guptas, this situation would not have been there. I'm not saying a direct responsibility, but there's a culture of names dropping in South African politics. Think back about the Shabir Sheikh era. That happens, and there I believe the president himself was reported to have used names dropping Shabir Sheikh's name in business deals context there. There is a culture that has not stopped.
It happens everywhere. It does happen everywhere.
Of course it does. Of course it does, and we need frankness about that.
Let's talk politics now, and let's talk about the ANC and what an event like this has done. This event and many other events around them, what has it done to the reputation of the ANC? Is this damaging its image?
The ANC has got so much damage control to do here. Now, it is not like the ANC is going to lose the next election because we've seen this.
Certainly not.
But in terms of credibility and status, esteem, I think it has taken a massive knock. There are so many questions, and South Africans in general are asking these questions. Really, just civil responsibility. Where is this going? Where is this taking South Africa? And in many ways, very concerned ANC people are feeling this is making a laughing stock of their party. So there is so much damage control to be done there.
But we haven't heard the end of this.
I think not by any stretch of the imagination. It's going to go on And if it's not definitively investigated, it's going to drag on for years.
All right. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Professor Susan Booysen, who's a political analyst, talking to us about the Gupta family landing at the Waterkloof Air Force Base and the report that was released last week.